Last week at the Illinois Media Day, the quotes from Brad Underwood about Keaton Wagler, comparing him to Kasparis Yakichonis, Will Riley, even Ayo Dosunmu, those got the biggest headlines, but we made mention of it briefly on Friday. It wasn't just Brad that was gassing him up, it was Kylan Boswell and some of his teammates that were also impressed with what he's become already in early practices as an incoming true freshman. We have more detail on this now, and it's courtesy of Jeremy Werner, Illini Inquirer 24/7. He has a awesome interview-based article where he talked to pretty much every member of Illinois basketball. Like you got a bunch of teammates, Jake Davis talking about how good he is. You got more in-depth stuff from Kylan and the entire coaching staff. Tyler Underwood talked about the ways they're going to use him here. So everybody go read it. It's one of the longest long-form profiles I think you'll see of an incoming freshman leading into the season. And by all accounts, it sounds like Keaton Wagler deserves that. I will say this to summarize it all: the hype train is not slowing down. I mean, we've gone off the deep end of hype train for Keaton Wagler, and we'll see if it all becomes deserved or not. But make no mistake, there is not one member of Illinois basketball that is afraid to put a lot on Keaton Wagler expectations wise. Everybody feels like they're confident in this kid. I'm going to read you an excerpt from this article from Werner. It's directly from Kylan Boswell. And I think this is a quote. I can't believe this isn't the quote that went viral. Like the IO quotes, the other comps are fine. This is insane from Kylan. And this is Kylan on Keaton. Quote, I already said this to Fletch. It might be crazy, but if he decides to stay in college, which I don't see why he would be able to stay in college even much longer than maybe his second year, I think he could be one of the best Illinois basketball players of all time. Werner interjects by saying, Boswell said with a very serious tone. Back to Boswell. He's legitimately one of the best freshmen I've ever seen. Hands down. He's a really, really good basketball player. End quote. Like I said, that quote means more to me than anything else that made its way through the viral airways on Friday. I don't see why he'd be able to stay in college longer than maybe his second year. He could be one of the best Illinois players of all time. What's this mean to you?
I mean, first off, one, if there's no doubt that he's not going to be here longer than 2 years, then it's very viable that he can only be here 1 year if things go correctly. And I don't know. I think that obviously we've heard Kylan speak on Keaton before, and I took it as one of the more endearing or serious quotes that I could take from a an off-season hype thing because he just straight up said that Keaton is cold. Once again, people are doubling down on the fact that Keaton Wagler is way better than people thought coming in as far as his ranking. And there's a possibility that he's one of them ones. Because if you have the ability to be two and done, that means that you also have the ability to be one and done, I think. But if he's a guy who Kylan thinks that he could leave here as one of the best Illinois players of all time, too, that also means that Illinois is winning, too, on top of Keaton Wagler playing good. So I don't know. Another quote that I think for sure is you put in the column of I'm once again opening my eyes to the fact that Keaton Wagler, what 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 he could be for this team is something that I think is special. And also, I don't know if you saw this as well, but I thought that our good friend Jordan Stocks made a really good point as well. He said this is coming from Kylan. Basically, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he's saying this quote coming from Kylan too also means something to me too because there could be a world where Wagler's minutes eat into Kylan's, maybe possibly, given like maybe the positional, finding a way to get him on the floor. So that's not even a thought in his head. He's just all about Keaton Wagler being this great player that needs to play and is going to be productive and lead to Illinois winning, which will get to the final point of him being this player that leaves as an Illinois legend.
Okay. So you're buying this?
That he could?
I mean, I'm buying that he's really good. That seems inevitable at this point.
Mm.
But I feel like, did you just kind of like talk us through the steps? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a world where it could be a thing, yeah. Because I also left out my greatest point in this argument. Trent Frazier's in Illinois. Great legend.
Yeah, wait, can we define what is the greatest Illini players of all time? Because if what is the baseline cut for one of the greatest Illini of all time? Is it Trent Frazier or is it Io? Like is Kasparis one of the greatest Illini players of all time?
I don't think Illinois fans would say that.
Interesting.
I don't think so.
But Trent Frazier is.
Yeah.
So then it's just about hashtag the retention. Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
Also, hashtag, what did you like? Did you win anything?
Sure. Okay. So if Kasparis had held up a loose leaf sheet of paper that said Big Ten champs after they won on senior day, would he have been considered a winner?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got to work on that. I'll talk to Kasparis' team, see if I can get that fixed. So this is about the retention then. And that's kind of how Kylan frames it, right? He says if he stays. Now he also says I don't know why he would stay. But if he stays, he could be one of the greatest of all time. So is that all this comes down to? Like in that sense, if Will Riley stayed, he could have been one of the greatest line of all time. If Kasparis could have stayed another year, he probably would have been. Is
Yeah.
that all this is? Like he's basically, we think Keaton Wagler's an NBA level player that you might get multiple years from. I say it all the time. Most valuable asset in college basketball. When you have an NBA player that's back in college when they could be in the NBA, that is the number one thing you need to win a championship. Say it all the time. But it's about a second year of that guy, not the first year of that guy. It's different when it's your first year, as Illinois fans know from Kasparis and Will. So if this pitch from Kylan is if he returns and it's hashtag the retention, then I guess I follow where we're going, like of he could be the greatest. Like if you just say he's a Kasparis Will Riley level guy, but the
Hmm.
plan with him is 2 years of it. Great. That also does feel like we're getting still way ahead of ourselves, doesn't it? Like again, this kid's not a 5 star, and I understand he's better than the rankings say for a variety of reasons, but it's still like a little bit out there to go this far, you
This
know?
is the first point where I think it is overstepped the okay, let's relax section of it. I think this is the first sighting of the let's relax a little bit section. Like I'm all for saying that, I love his playmaking, his game. He's cold. He's gonna play. He's gonna be a good player on this team. Um, I just don't think you got to go to the compare him to Illinois legends, say he's going to be an Illinois legend right away. I just think this is the first instance of just taking it maybe just an inch or a step too far. It's just not fair to Wagler. And it's a very good case. Like I said, I laid it out that it could happen, but I think it's just a little, we got to pump the brakes just a wee bit.
And I mean, to Kylan's credit, again, he says this might be crazy. So, like, I think everyone realizes how insane it is to be saying these things. They must just really believe in him. Because they don't, that's the thing. They don't have to do any of this. They
Hmm.
do not have to say any of this. If they wanted to, even if he is as good as they're implying, they could be keeping it completely under wraps and saying nothing. But they like to me that signals supreme confidence that they're right on this, and like it's just a fact. You see a guy and you know, and maybe that's what we're all going to see. And I mean, what we're 4 weeks away from this at this point. I'm just excited to see it for myself because, um, look, they didn't talk about Kasparis like this, and
Hmm.
we could go back a year. I know we were getting intel on this. They loved Kasparis. We got all the intel that was true at the time. Like, this is our best player. He's our primary option. He's a one and done. We haven't had a playmaker like this really ever. Like that was all that was being said last summer. And we were like, it's probably true. It was true. They still weren't saying this might be one of the greatest Illini of all time. That was never uttered about Kasparis. And that's a different type of love than even the NBA hype from Brad.
Yeah, also, this is the thing. Why are we doing the whole bring NBA prospect off the bench thing again?
I think he's starting. With the way they're talking about him, I think he's starting.
Yeah, I, I mean, obviously, I think he's going to start right now, given what is Stojakovic's status. But do you think he starts regardless? I mean, we don't even know what
I think he
Mikhailo's
starts.
status.
At this point, I am buying that Keaton Wagler is one of the two or three best players on this team. I have no reason to believe otherwise based on what is being said about this kid. So I just don't think you call a guy this could be one of the greatest line of all time and then he's the seventh guy. I don't Brad's not echoing that. The players aren't echoing that. And I will say this, Kylan's quotes mean way more to me than Brad's. Brad's a salesman and a good one. I love him. But Brad knows how to get the people going with quotes, whether he's talking about Jake Davis or whether he's talking about his best player. Um, a player on the team saying this is substantial. That's crazy. And Kylan, again, it's not just Kylan. If you read the Werner article, it's everyone on Illinois echoing how good this kid is. But Kylan has played with some freshmen. Like I go through the freshmen, he says he's the best freshman I've ever seen. He played with Vasar his freshman year. The next year, Arizona had KJ Lewis, Krivas, both in that freshman class. And then last year at Illinois, Kasparis and Will Riley. Like those are five guys that have become starter level good college basketball players by their sophomore year at minimum or one and dones before that. And Kylan's like, yeah, this guy's better than all of them.
It's something, and he said it multiple times.
Right.
So I can't wait to see it. I got to see it
You
too.
know what's not being said?
What?
Andrei Stojakovic is the greatest junior I've ever played with.
Or Mihailo Petrovic is the greatest almost eligible Balkan that I've ever seen.
Yeah, like we're not hearing anything on those guys.
Yeah.
So
So is this a distraction tactic?
it could be.
Well played, if so.
Definitely well played if so. Also, I just love how much Kylan has been made the speaker of the house for Illinois basketball. Kylan's been here for 12 months, and he gets to decide who the greatest Illini of all time are.
He's got a little Pelosi in him.
Hashtag the retention.
Hashtag House of Champagne Representatives.